right.
Legionnaire versus G5.
Now, before you say anything, because you really haven't gotten the chance to talk yet.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, he's not actually going to talk during this whole thing. It's just Noni's really excited about these openers, guys. He's nodding his head. He's doing golf claps.
Oh, and here Noni would talk about the Reavers, I think, and like how he could have done more damage.
Probably say he made one zealot too many at the start of the game, but I mean, it's Noni. What are you going to do, guys?
Oh, man. Dude. All right,
go ahead. You can say something now.
Noni,
you have the conch.
Ready?
Go ahead.
It's like, well, there's nothing to say. There's like 6 probes. Like,
well, we've got G5 spawning at 6 o'clock, and we've got Legionnaire. Is that how you say it?
Legionnaire.
I
we need in control back here.
It's Legionnaire.
Legionnaire. Anyway, he's spawning in the other spot, so I mean, it's a visual game, so you can see for yourself.
Yeah.
You should have been a commentator, actually. This is very clear to me.
G5 had 8 probes, but if Noni was playing, he would have already had 9.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so Tyler, you're really precise with your thoughts on build orders and your build orders themselves. What do you feel like are some of the most important concepts in the opening that you really like, things you really need to worry about, stuff you want to make sure you don't mess up?
In the opening, you want to map out. Okay, that's noted. Thank you, Legionnaire. In the opening, you want to map out each threat that you can expect to encounter, like, one by one, and then you want to make sure your build order has a way to handle each one of those things. So anytime you're, like, working on a build order and you're trying to figure out, is this actually going to work, or is this a really cheesy build order and I'm trying to get away with something, you might not even know it until somebody does something and you're like, oh, wow, I had no idea that my build can't deal with this. So then you have to adjust. So the way I did it was, in single player, I would just imagine all the threats and I would map it all out. And usually I could just bring a build like to a tournament or the ladder and it would be pretty good. Or I would just copy what a Korean did, not fully understanding it, but just going with it and using that as a starting point.
Yeah, some of the ways that people used to do timings in the days of Brood Warrior is you would do it based upon how much gas you had left in your gas geyser, because that was a consistent timer that would tick down, or how much minerals were in expansion. So you do things like, okay, this timing push is good when, if you've had a normal game, you have 1,000 minerals left on this mineral patch, then you just attack. Or you'd say things like, when my layer is halfway done, their starport should be having its dropship about halfway done. And there's a double gate opening that's coming up out of Legionnaire. We saw Draco doing this a little bit. What do you think about this opening?
So I think when you're playing with some rustier players who are not quite ready to micro perfectly while macroing perfectly, building zealots and just throwing them in their face is a really good strat. So I feel like this is a good strat for the circumstances. I'm not sure it's like optimal among the best players, but I haven't been watching a lot of games, so I couldn't really say.
That's very Legionnaire style, too. He's like a very cognitive player that tries to judge where people are at and how he can abuse them, so makes sense.
Well, Python has painfully close attack positions.
Especially these 2 spots. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's there.
If you're one zealot short.
Like, especially cross spawns. Those are...
Oh, so this is a cool little trick. The probes can attack over the zealots just barely. So what G5 is trying to really cut corners here, and PvP a lot of times is just a matchup about cutting corners, but Legionnaire seems to be in pretty good shape here. This is going to be very tough for G5. He has to control perfectly.
Oh, that was nice. He runs
chest
up.
bump.
Yeah, he nuzzles the zealot, which gives it a little bit of a heart palpitation, then he stops,
So
and then moves again.
you right-click one zealot on the Dragoon, and then you just have the other 2 zealots go ham on the probes.
Yeah, and it looks like 1 probe's down. He needs about 3 or 4 for it to be technically equalized, but he's bought himself some good time. Just great control out of G5.
Nice micro.
Now, G5 has way more gas, so he has a lot more options, and he can proceed to the next stage of the game with a lot more comfort, being able to get all the tech that he wants.
Is this too much gas? I always feel uncomfortable if my minerals and gas aren't like both very low at the same time.
It goes away pretty fast when the robo comes up. He might have a little bit extra, but yeah, I mean, once you get the robo and the start making reavers or try to get observers, this gas goes away almost immediately.
Dude, Noni, you gonna be playing Brood War?
I might hop on a little bit.
Are you coming back,
Might
Noni?
You got to do it, man. We're going to restart the practice group. It's going to be fun.
A little 1v1 play ops.
Yeah.
Do we all have to install Ventrilo again?
Yes, of course. People are saying Discord. I don't even know what that is, man.
Yeah.
I think that's a bad guy.
We're
in
going
My
to be
Little
messaging
Pony.
each other on AOL Instant Messenger to get this whole thing going.
Yeah, no, here, what's
Gotta
your
do it.
MSN?
What's your ICQ number?
Mine was very low.
Mine too. I had like a 6-digit.
Damn.
Hardcore.
That's
This guy is so old school. Wow. You're so old school.
You're so cool. I'm like, yeah, thanks, guys.
Artosis. He's our tough friend.
By the way, you see this a lot in PvP, putting the Dragoons at the bottom of the ramp. It's so hard to run down. But those are actually far back enough he wasn't able to punish it. If you have him scooted up just a little bit more, you can get off a lot of free pot shots and still run away. But G5 was doing that with the bare minimum. So in a situation like this, Noni, now that we have you captive here, you got two guys basically going towards almost the exact same place, right? They're going for probably shuttle Reaver Dragoons, right?
Yeah.
When would you want to expand in a situation like this? This is kind of one of the age-old questions of PvP. It's like, do you keep powering up and wait for them to expand, or is there like a specific time where you want to try to sneak in a Nexus?
I prefer to try to expand a little bit sooner and then build the Reavers without a shuttle right away. And that way you get a Nexus sooner and you can basically have, once they finally get on offense, you have basically the same amount of units as they do. And so as long as you can defend, as long as being in a defensive position is not a disadvantage where like they can use their Reavers really well on your clumped up units, then you're just going to get ahead that way.
Oh, Legionnaire always loves to do this. He's like, oh, this is an island here. Let's just get a probe up there.
Yeah, actually, I almost forgot about the islands on this map in a PvP, but this is one of these funny things you can do because you can basically at least safely get the Nexus up almost always right away. And that island's actually in such an awkward location, it's kind of hard to get anything over there.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to shuttle 2 Dragoons over there, they got to go all the way around the map and everything.
Especially because it's Legionnaire.
Oh,
like,
dude,
this
he's
guy
double expanding.
He just
Legionnaire's
goes
crazy.
shuttle all the time.
Look at this guy.
This is cute.
This, I mean, Noni, tell me if you disagree with me, but this is sort of not supposed to work, 2 Nexuses like this, but it's possible. G5.
3 Nexuses!
Oh my god, if he expands back here, then he is my hero. Come on.
He's going to do
he's
it.
gonna make a
He's doing
pylon.
it.
No,
Look at his minerals.
No, he's not
getting
going to.
up.
No, he's not
Yes,
going to make
he
it.
Come on, do it.
No,
He's
gonna do it.
He's going to do it.
No,
He is going to do it.
Go back to the bottom left.
No,
I don't
no,
care
no.
about this. Go back.
He's not going to do it.
On.
No, he's not going to do it.
Okay.
He's not going to do it.
He might.
He's not
have
gonna do
minerals.
it.
Then what is
He's gotta
that
do
for?
it.
Dude, he is
I don't know
going
why.
to do it.
I don't know why he
Okay,
mined the
let's go
mineral
to the
though.
front.
If he wasn't going to do it, but
No,
no.
yeah. He's going to do it eventually. Maybe not right now because he's being attacked. He would have done it if
He's
G5
going to
wasn't
cancel it and
attacking.
turn in the other Nexus. Oh my gosh.
It's one of these moments where you
This
got
is
to wonder
brilliant.
if it would have been better.
This
to
is
just
brilliant.
like wait for that to finish and then come up.
All right, well, looks like the top right expansion should be almost done right now. G5 is going to think that he's an enormously advantageous position because he now has this ramp. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Noni, but I think this is the worst situation to be in PvP ever is when you're locked inside your own base on your ramp.
It is uncomfortable, but you can also use it to your advantage because they're so focused on holding your ramp. And
There
they're
it is, bottom left. Doesn't even matter what you have to say. Look at that.
No!
G5 is
I applaud
sending
this.
a shuttle up to that top right, though. This is great. I love that
I
expand.
can't believe he's taking that.
You'd
But-
never scout that.
Legionnaire
But you might
anticipated.
expand there.
He anticipated G5 finding this. That's why he's taking bottom left.
Oh, he's target. Oh, that was really nice.
Oh
He
my
loses the
God.
shuttle. He loses the shuttle. Oh my God.
Wow,
G5
that-
is a really nice micro.
That totally didn't go right.
That was kind of crazy. Well, he's gonna have the Reaver come down. This is harder than it looks because the Reaver tends with its AI
They don't
to
like to
want to
attack
walk.
south.
You actually have to like sometimes tell it to stop.
Yeah.
Well, he's got an observer, I think, just a little bit to the left of G5's contain there.
Oh, yeah.
And so what he should be doing is if he could get a shuttle out, he can start harassing the Dragoons from the left there. That's what I would do.
Or you would expand to his island.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Noni would have already had an expansion containing G5 at the bottom. Let's be perfectly honest
I
here.
think
Whoa,
G5
Legionnaire lost it.
G5 just spent more minerals on
my
scarabs
God.
than the Nexus cost.
oh, no. Is he gonna find this?
Did he really?
No.
No. Okay. I was like, They're only 15 minerals. That's like a hell of a... How much health does a Nexus have? I knew they had too much health.
Day9, we can hear you drinking that coffee. It sounds very weird in our ears.
I like it.
It's really good. It's really good. I'm on my second coffee right now. I don't know about you guys, but I drink a lot of coffee. And, like, sometimes when it's, like, Saturday and I don't have any work, I wake up and we're just hanging out and I feel sort of empty and sad. Just like, oh my gosh, do I derive my purpose in life only from doing shows and working on projects? What am I? And then I'm like, oh wait, I just didn't drink coffee. And then I have like 3 cups of coffee.
Like, oh,
and
I feel great.
Oh, I have caffeine dependency. It's great.
Okay, he's actually
what an error.
going to be trying to take out the shuttle. I don't know if he can get
That's very good, but Reaver's been getting a lot of pot shots off.
He needs to target
firing,
everything, with that Reaver. Okay, he gets it.
And it looks like G5.
Whoa, that's crazy.
G5 sees the weakness and he sprints.
I can't believe he went for that, but I get the idea. He saw there was enough units over there. He thought maybe the base was more exposed than it actually was.
Well, looks like he has probes being constructed at that bottom left, and Legionnaire does this in all matchups. Even in pro matches, he would just hide expansion, sneak things, do these weird, funky plays. And what's interesting about it is that it forces really precise unit allocation, where, you know, if we saw G5 fall for it, he saw that there were a lot of Dragoons up at the top base and bombed in the front of Legionnaires with only Dragoons and got an unfavorable exchange because there was a Reaver there from Legionnaire. So I think that this is a really interesting test of a certain kind of skill.
I think pretty soon, actually, Legionnaire could just run down the ramp.
Yeah.
Right? He's going to have enough... Oh, maybe...
It would
not be... Yeah,
when he brings his shuttle over, he'll be able to break out. Well, I don't think he's under a rush because he has 2 bases making probes right now, so it's like, to attack down now doesn't make sense. G5, like, I don't think G5 will really commit to the top right again, and then, like, the bottom left he doesn't know about, so Legionnaire's just gaining value sitting there.
Look at G5, he's like, he probably hit a base. He's, like, looking around the map. His base is right under his nose.
Then he scouts behind his minerals because it's Python, and there's a Nexus in his main. Oh my god!
I think he's going to elevator. I think that's a shuttle flying up, and he's going to elevator a bunch of Dragoons in.
Again?
I don't know.
I mean, you got to be careful. When Legionnaire gets speed shuttles, you don't want to play shuttle tag with him, man. Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's the king of it.
That was a problem.
Oh, no! Why? Oh, my God, it got away!
That's so crazy. If that was White Rose shuttle, it'd be dead.
He was, like, thinking about going back and getting it.
Oh, my God.
Oh. Are we serious with this right now?
This is crazy.
6 HP.
So a lot of times you want to try to sneak out of a corner and drop the Reavers or ferry them down onto the low ground, but G5 is like totally on top of this. The weird thing is G5, because G5's contain has been so good, he's basically assuming that he's either even or ahead of his opponent, but what's weird about this is Legionnaire has this additional base at the bottom left, which might throw G5's tempo off on where he thinks this game is going.
Look at G5's base he's taking, though, in the top left here.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Noni?
He's trying to be Legionnaire.
He wants to be Legionnaire so bad. Legionnaire's like, you're never going to be Legionnaire, mate. Am I as good as Jeff, guys?
It's uncanny. Awesome. That Australian impression is uncanny, Artosis. Yeah. So as cool as what Legionnaire is doing is, he's not... He's still not gotten a very good like operational economy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason standard is because when you deviate from it, you can sometimes just get punished by someone who's just doing better control with more conservative placement.
Ooh. Oh! 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 Nice hit. Attack it! Don't run! It's got 4 HP. All right. Well, he did still lose a lot of probes, though, in that process.
Yeah, that was rough. But he still has that bottom left.
He's got a huge bank, too.
Yeah, I mean, like, this matchup...
He needs more gates.
This is probably my worst matchup.
Thanks, Stacy.
That's what I'm here for, guys. If you have any more questions, you let me know. I'm over here on the couch.
Hey, Noni, I just want to confirm, should Legionnaire spend his money?
He probably should.
It doesn't carry over into the next game, guys.
Do you see this? This is why I love G5. No one has ever done this. We've never seen a shield battery there. In the, like, 50 million games on Python, that's the first time a shield battery's been there.
Shield battery.
Yeah, no, I'd say, the shield batteries are weird, too, because the unit that is receiving the shield healing can't attack. So it's just like, hey.
Well, he'll solve that by healing the shuttle.
Yeah, I think it's actually just there for the shuttle. Okay, he's going to try to bust down, though. No Reaver here paired with this, so the Zealots are just going to force the Dragoons away. Legionnaire has finally been unleashed on this map.
Well, he's going to... Wait, let's go to the shield battery. Go to the shield battery. Is he healing?
No, it doesn't have that much range. I think it's just out of range.
Damn.
To actually heal any Dragoons on the low ground.
See, he should have made it to the right a little bit more.
Yeah, he should have, man.
If I was playing this game, my shield battery would be up against the edge.
Yeah, exactly. Some pro moves.
And Legionnaire would be so confused. He's like, why do they keep sparkling? What's going on?
This is kind of a funny little skirmish over here, as they're both, because you can only fit 2 Dragoons into a shuttle. It's such a... You do so much heavy lifting whenever you're trying to get these things ferried over here.
Yeah, Dragoons and shuttle look like you trying to...
Go to the battery! Look at that!
Oh my god. You know what? Like, if there was an observatory next to that shield battery, this would be single player.
So, what?
No? Nobody? Okay, that's cool too. That's cool, guys. That's fine.
This is a lot of Zealots. Like, if you're G5, you are not expecting this.
G5's probably like, how does he have this much money?
Yeah, I mean, and the Dragoons are actually going to be able to walk away from this.
Here's what's going to happen is Legionnaire's going to drive him all the way back to his base, and then G5's going to say, well, I guess I got to take the island. Hilarity ensues.
And that's where he finds it.
Yeah, that's where he finds it. And then it's suddenly G5 trying to shuttle all his stuff over there.
Then he builds a shield battery in his main base to try to break it.
Yeah, we're like, my God, the circle is complete. Well,
look at that supply difference, though. 83 to 134. What?
Thing is, Legionnaire had so many workers die, I'm not clear on how big his army actually is. Yeah. His army actually might be almost the same size as G5's.
Could be. No.
I mean, G5 is just...
No, not quite. Not quite.
G5 just played fundamentally more sound throughout this, although part of me was rooting for Legionnaire because, took the bottom left base, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at there it is.
It's a wonderful thing to watch.
Oh, he should not be scooting out like this. Oh, here we go. Oh! Shuttle attack. Oh, no. Okay. Legionnaire is processing this loss.
Let's see the heartbreak.
Oh, the pain.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Don't do that.
It's okay, Legionnaire. It's okay, Legionnaire.
Legionnaire.
Oh,